Hello everybody, my name is Michael. I'm running the Board Games Chronicle blog. Today I would like to tell you more about one of my favorite games of 2020, Imperial Struggle. You can find pretty many articles on my blog regarding this game, but today I would like to do some kind of a demonstration for all of you. But before we go there, a couple of words about this position. This was kind of a long-awaited spiritual successor, because I will not call it a sequel to Twilight Struggle. The game is designed by Ananda Gupta and Jason Matthews, and as you know, this duo can create fantastic games. It covers 100 years of the France and Britain conflict in 18th century, and unlike most card-driven games, we will have here common pool of investment tiles, not just cards, which you can get by on random. You will see how it actually changes the dynamics. Before going into the details, the plan. The plan is to show you guys in a series of short movies how to play this game. Today we'll focus on the setup. The video number 2 would be telling the story of the peace turn. Number 3 it will be war turn. Later on I'm planning also video number 4, which will be about major strategies, tips, tricks regarding the game, and the 5th will be regarding the most common errors. I played pretty extensively this game for the last 10 months, also in a couple of tournaments via Vassal or Tabletop Simulator, so I hope I will be able to share some interesting news. So let's start from the tools. Which tools I will be using? First of all, the rulebook. You can get it from the GMT page. I will paste the link. We have also the playbook, which is important for setup, and I will be also using a very convenient and very helpful and useful Imperial Struggle Player Aid. It actually helps me in almost every game which I'm playing by email, for example. As a main tool to depict the game, we'll use the Vassal module. Fantastic Vassal module. We just got the version number 2 with a lot of automation. This is pretty cool, and kudos to the creators, to Joel Toppen. I'm really thinking this is one of the top-notch modules which I saw. Okay, so how do we start? First of all, the setup of the game. I will of course not be going through each and every point here, but I would like to point some important things. The setup is in the playbook on the page number 2. It shows exactly how we should place all the pieces. You should simply follow this setup. I would like to draw your attention to a couple of things which are, let's say, asymmetric in the setup of both sides. Of course, except for where the flags goes. First of all, both sides have one advantage tile, width for the Britain, and the right, the Indian rates for French. They have different special actions, and we'll see them in a moment. Second thing, pretty often forgotten, is the fact that French start with one bonus war tile for Central Europe theater. So also please have it in mind. Other than that, I think most of things are pretty self-explanatory. Please note that the Vassal module is set up actually with the optional Spain rule. So it's kind of a thing we always use during our tournaments, so I also suggest you to have it in your place. Two things happens here. Actually, those sugar markets are occupied by the Spanish flags. They can be removed. Those are the isolated markers, so it only costs 1 economic point. And the second thing, whenever you take those yellow territories of Spain, your opponent has an option to do a shift in Spain itself. But remember, it only pertains to the situations when you take it from Spain, not from your opponent. Okay, regarding the setup, the setup is also very nicely described. Let me just provide it to you in the player aid, and we actually will be using player aid for this tutorials. So we don't have a deck phase in the turn 1, it's only in turn 3 and 5. The deck phase actually is a time when we shuffle the new era events into the deck. We should remove the succession ones on turn 5, but let's be honest, leave them in the deck, and whenever actually they are being drawn, throw them away, from the game. Also, on piece turns 3 and 5, we will be increasing the depth by 4. Important factor. We are changing the era, so also the depth limit for the countries are increasing. So we start from the award phase. We need to shuffle awards and deal one to each region, and also to deal them global demands. So it is here. Let's move. In module, you just simply click one thing, deal awards. Okay, and as you can see, we have here the awards for the regions, and here you have the global demand. As we can see, India will be pretty much contested. It's like 3 VPs, and we have also cotton and spice. So yeah, it's really important for this turn. Okay, for the setup, moving further, we don't have a reset phase. We will be dealing the cards. So we need to deal now 9 investment tiles, and then before going to events and the ministry cards, we will also do the setup of the next war. Actually, let me start with the war setup and some other game details before we start moving further. At the top of the vassal module, you actually have a couple of windows. I will start with the player mates. Yeah, there are 2 of them because I'm playing solo. So on each and every of them, you can see the place for the advantage tiles, which I was already showing to you, the rates and the width. You have basic war tiles and bonus war tiles, also the unbuilt squadrons. Here the ministry cards will go, and kind of a reminder when you play which actions you can do with what kind of points. So these are the mats. Okay. Besides this, we have also hand. So here we'll be drawing the events for both sides. And we have also all ministry cards for both sides. You can minimize it just to see it better. And of course you should hide them when you play with a real opponent. We'll go into the details soon, but it's important to note they are here. So we need to set up a war. As you can see on the turn track, let me move down. We start from the turn 1. Maybe I can zoom in. We start from the turn 1, which is peace turn. Then we have a war. Then we have another peace turn, actually 2 in succession, but the third one already is in a new era. Then we have the next war. This is war of Austrian succession. And then till the end of the game, 1 peace turn, 1 war turn, 1 peace turn, 1 war turn, and 1 peace turn. With special rules for the 6th turn, because there you don't use the military points. Okay, so the war. First war is war of the Spanish succession. Each side should actually have 1 basic war tile. So let's deal the war tiles to both sides. And of course, the French should have 1 bonus war tile in Central Europe. Let's do it also here. Okay, for those who played already Imperial Struggle, it will be repetition, but for the new players, couple of words about the symbols. Your war tiles can have, and usually have, the value and also some symbol. The values are from -1, as you can see here, through 0, +1, and +2. These are the basic war tiles. The bonus war tiles are from +1 to +3. And you will have also some symbols on them. Actually, we have all the symbols which we should use. The symbols of actually pound and franc means that the opponent is increasing his debt. This means that the opponent, you will actually unflag a political or market space of the opponent, and this means that you can move the squadron to reserve or damage effort of your opponent. So if you have a pretty heavy action like removing flag, the value of this is pretty low, -1. If you have a very good value of a war tile, there is no action on it. Okay, so we have it set up. Now, the most interesting part of the setup. So events and ministry cards, but before this, we should have also the investment tiles. Okay, they are here to the left. What I'm usually doing is sorting them by the major action. It really helps actually to see how many tiles of which type you have. So we'll have 3 major actions of diplomacy. This is diplomacy. 4 major actions of economic actions, and 2 major actions which are military ones. Each and every of them has also minor action, and also the symbols depicts which type is it. Economic, military, and here you have diplomatic. There are some restrictions on those actions, and when we'll be playing through the peace turn, I will show you them. Now, the next step is to draw events and then choose the ministry cards. So let's start from the British. They have 1, 2, 3 events drawn, and now we can also choose the ministry cards. And as you can see, each event has text of what it actually does, but also a bonus. And bonus condition is always just below the text. So you read from top to bottom. Carnatic War, you can get a bonus if you have mercantilism. This is the main event part. Place 1 conflict marker in India for each local alliance you control. And if you have mercantilism before actually executing the event, you can do the bonus, so damage an enemy fort or shift a cotton market in India. In order to have those bonuses, usually those bonus words are on the ministry cards. And now we should look at our ministry cards and which ones we would like to use for this particular game. So, one more thing regarding the events. If the event doesn't have any symbol, it can be played via any investment tile allowing for event. And in order to be able to play event, the investment tile should have this cross. Yeah, we have actually only 2 events playable this turn on this and this tile. Please note that when you don't have possibility to play event or upgrade the military, you have simply 4 points in a major action. If you have event, you have 3, and if you should you have upgrade, let me actually try to find one tile with upgrade. It would be much more informative. Okay, where they are, or are hidden. Here it is. So let me just change maybe this major action for this. So that one, it's only 2 on a major action, but you have also the event, so the cross, and possibility to do the upgrade. And we'll be showing this also during the part regarding the peace turn. So, now, which ministry cards you can choose? You can choose all the ministry cards that we have S on a white board, so actually a succession era ones. These are those 5, and as you can see, you will be able to play only one event, because most probably whoever goes first choose one of those 2 events, and whoever goes second will choose the other event. Okay, let me come back to those symbols. So if you don't have any symbol, you can use any of those events. But if you have this symbol, this is economy symbol, you can only play this event if you have a symbol of economy as a major action. Now, the British has a very interesting ministry card, Bank of England, which has finance, which would be bonus for this, which allows you to increase debt by 1. But what is more, once per turn you may play an economic event even if your selected investment tile does not have an economy major action. So choosing this ministry card, it goes here, makes sure that we will be able to play this. And this is pretty cool event because it allows you to reduce your debt. If we'll play it for sure, okay, that's secondary. Let's leave it for now, not go into the details because maybe it will not be so powerful as we thought, but still that allows us to do it. Second thing is event, that event and that event. One comment here, if you look here and see this flag, that means this part of event is only for British, this part of event is only for French. So in that case, this event for British reads that you have 2 economic points of a major action to be used and must be spent to flag markets next to already British flagged markets. And should you have governance, you can actually spend 1 more. So what shall we choose as a second card? Either governance or maybe mercantilism or maybe a third one. I will not be going too much now into the part of the strategy. I just want you to show how it can be done. So let's say that for the sake of this play, we'll choose mercantilism. I think it's much better ministry cards than governance and Robert Walpole. So send me to number 2. Let's close it. The British are ready to play. And now let's have a look at French, what they will get. Not hand, of course, but ministry cards. Okay, let's start with French. 3 events. You see, this event will not be played. It has symbol of military points, and we don't have any military event, so we should not bother with this actually. We have possibility to play tropical disease, which has bonus with scholarship, and Austro-Spanish rivalry with governance. You should pay special attention to each and every event which has a symbol of diplomacy, because that means you will be able to do a major diplomatic action, and believe me, this is one of the key things, especially for the fight in Europe. So what kind of governance ministry card we have? We actually have the cardinal ministers, one of the best cards, but beware, most of the cards for the French are pretty much restrained by some conditions. They are more powerful than the British ones, but still, in order to play them with the full effect, you need some prerequisites to be fulfilled. So let's play. Let's send it to the mate. Okay, so we'll be willing to play this. That event is good only if you have a scholarship. The first part, which happens always, means that you and opponent needs to remove flag. If you have scholarship, the opponent actually removes 1 more flag. I will not be actually choosing the ministry card which will go with this. I will play the Jacobites. Jacobites is a special event. Jacobite uprising is a special ministry card for French, which allows them actually to collect pretty extensive amount of points. Okay, it's sent there. So with that, we actually finished the setup, and as you can see, part of the setup are really important strategic decisions of what and how you would like to plan for the turn, because now we know that the British will be playing the tax reform and actually will be able to spend pretty much over their debt limit, because they can then recover it, and they can also play the Carnatic War. So most probably will be taking those local alliances. That's what we can expect from them. And for French, they most probably would like to do some surprise in Europe, especially because we have even number of events. So somebody takes two, even number of major diplomatic actions. So somebody will take two, somebody will take only one, and then they can play the event and do additional and diplomatic action. And most probably they will not play anything else that turn. Okay, that concludes the how to play Imperial Struggle Part 1. So we did the setup of the game, we made sure that everything is ready, we also have chosen the events, and the ministry cards will be now ready to actually play the first peace turn. Thank you very much, and see you in the part number 2.